Well, hello there. I'm Linda V. Taylor, and this is the best of both worlds. Last time we did one side of my reversible Minky bedspread. Today we're doing the other side plus the shams. So I can't wait to get started on it. Thanks for joining me. I can't wait to get started on this. I'm doing it a little bit differently than I did the stripes on the other side with the red and black and white. So let's just get started. This is the other side of the quilt. I'm so excited to show you what I'm doing on this one. We did the red and black one and the deer and all of that, and that's one side, has the muslin on the back. This one has the muslin on the back. And what I did was I measured all the way down to where I needed to be, because I know I have to add on the sides. And that's when I stitched this panel, and I want batting only under the panel. So I'm just cutting off the rest of the batting, because I had a long piece. And I'm just going to have that along there, trim that edge off. I add my pieces on. My first piece is going to be the black. This is the black hide. Oh, it's so nice. So nice. So again, like I did on the shams on the front of the other one, the red and black, I have to start this here. Bring out my thread. And stitch down. So now let's go ahead and pull this down. Like that. So the entire panel here is going to be surrounded with the black hide. And then I'm adding green hide. This is the green hide. Doesn't that go pretty with that panel? I just love it. So here's the green hide, and it's a little wider, of course, so it comes out here, so I get the 118 inches, which is what I want. And I'm just going to put this up here. Well, I have lots of choices, but they don't all depend on me. Okay, so there we have that. And now, because I did leave enough muslin and measure down from the top, I can cut this part off right here. Let me go ahead and do that. I could stabilize this, but it already has a seam here, so I'm not too worried. The next thing I'm going to do is take my black piece, which is, I cut the entire distance that I needed. I think I cut it 120 inches, which is cool because when I cut these, they're going the same, they have the very same pattern on them. And so now I just have to put this piece here and add it on. So this is showing you how you could do this with a panel in the middle, and you build it from the middle out instead of from the side. And I'll put this along here and stitch it, and then flip it, and then I just add the green piece on the end of that by unrolling it again. Okay, I am going to go across and stitch this edge down to the muslin all the way across, so I won't have to worry about that edge. And then I have my green piece. I'll cut, this is the last piece, and I'll be able to do some beautiful quilting on that. Although I have found that not a whole lot of stuff shows, a lot of the quilting doesn't show on this hide because it's such beautiful fabric and kind of complicated. but I know it will show some bigger design on it. So once I do that, then I just put this right side together like that and stitch all the way down, and then I'll do that on the other side of the quilt as well. So this is really exciting. This thing can be made in 2 hours. It takes you longer to cut the Minky than it does to sew it on the long arm. I'm so excited to get it finished, and then we'll do shams that match this one. So I have loaded a piece of Minky that matches the bedspread, and it is 80 inches across by 50 inches. And I'm just going to do like envelope shams, and I'm going to divide it right now. So I'm sewing, I'm coming down vertically. I have my vertical channel lock on, and then I'm going to go across about a ½ inch and then come back up. Now that left me an opening in there where I can go in and cut these shams apart when I'm finished. So of course I'll have 2 shams. Okay, so I'm doing them together, but they will be separate. I want to have a nice wide hem on it, but I want it completely lined. So I cut 15 inches of the black Minky, and I'll just pull it down like this. And I'm only going to have the batting in half of it, so when I bring it around, it will have batting in it too. I'm so excited. Okay, I have put the boundaries in here for my shams. There's 2 of them here, and I put the line down the middle where I will be cutting. And I've been looking at this, and I really think I like this pattern that has both the little deer in it. So I think I can just make that big enough to fit into each one. And I like that very much. And I could take these little lines here off pretty easily. I think I'll have it go up just a little bit because I'm going to be sewing a seam here across the bottom. Okay, so I have that in there and I really like it. I'm going to click on it and do nodes and come over here and just pull that line right back in there where it needs to be for this particular project. Isn't that cool? You can just pull that over in there. That start. There we go. And now I will click on this and I will rubber stamp it because it's exactly the size that I want it to be, and I'll put it over here and match it. Then we can get rid of the next one there. But I want to also want to flip this one. By right-clicking, I can just flip it horizontally, so I will have asymmetrical shams. I don't know how much any of this is going to show up, but I can see the tree, and I know this is here, the little deer, and so I'm very happy. Even though this is the hide cuddle, and it's hard to get a design in here that shows up. I could have done something simpler, but why? When I have that wonderful pattern. Okay, this is the rest of the panel. This came on the big panel that I did of the bear, and I just thought it was so cute. I'm going to just stitch it on top of everything that I have here, and then maybe I'll go around the bear a little bit. And I've got them centered, both of them. I'm thinking that I might just baste down the middle here. Come across over here. You could pin it I think I'll just do this, and that'll kind of hold it for me. And I'll be happy with that. It's hard to get a pin in here because you can't get the pin back out. I'm in constant, but you could do this in regulated. I'm just going to go back and forth like a little zigzag over the edge. You could put an extra piece of batting under there too. I thought about that, but I did use pretty thick batting. So I think I'll be happy with that. You see, I'm just doing my zigzag here. You didn't know the long arms could do zigzags, huh? Yeah, I think that basting really helped keep this where it needed to be. And now I'll start up the other side. Look at that. Takes me like 3 minutes. Let's make sure we're getting all of our fullness taken in here. And you could go around this many more times if you wanted to, just to make sure it's secure. That spoon foot really helps in this particular instance, I think. Just back and forth over it, like that. Right off the edge, and then come down where I started. And then I could go around it again, just for good measure. Turn up my speed a little bit. Let's see, I started right there. Perfect place to start. I'm going to just pull that basting out that I did, so I won't be stitching on top of that. There we go. And now I'm going to go around the bear. Since I have black thread, I'm staying on the outside of that. I'm going to come around the little ear. Awesome. I think he just kind of wanders off like that. I'm more interested in doing the face, but I think I will come down here. I love the fact that this is mine. So I don't have to worry if somebody's going to like it or not, because I love it. Go around his little nose, his little face. I can kind of make some wavy lines there, like fur. And I'll come over here and go across that ear as well. I don't think I'll do the eyes. I like the face there. I told you I had 15 inches that I had cut out here, just so I have a lot to play with. And I do want the batting in part of that hem that I'm going to turn back under. But I don't want, you know, the batting only comes, I'll show you. It's like there's the end of the batting. So I am sewing a line, and I've got my channel lock on, 6.5 inches, and I'll just sew that all the way down like this, and then I can cut that extra batting off, and I'll continue to sew down there as I roll the quilt. Then I can just cut this batting off right along the line, and then this will turn around. I left plenty on this side so that I can connect it there. It'll be so lovely, all lined. This quilt is, this side of the quilt is all finished. If I had put Minky on the back, it would be a quilt all by itself already. But I had to change color, so I wanted to show you. I'm just going around the bear a little bit in between the lines here, just outlining. So easy. I'm going to come around the ear here like this and kind of come in around there and around this ear as well. And I'm going to come back and just go around the face like that. Now I'm really happy with this. Since I had this little part here that was actually part of the panel in green, so I just wrote Rick and Linda Taylor, 1969, established. I was going to put established, but you know. Anyway, I'm having fun putting those on, writing on the quilts, because it's like part of the label. I don't have to make a special label for it. And since this is reversible, it's not going through on the other side with the writing backwards. So I decided to put a tree border around the little bears, which I absolutely love. Just seemed like they were lonely or something. So I will show you what I did with that border. Here's the tree border, and I got it right here. It comes like a border that's all square like this with the trees, which is really nice. But what I had was a little bit of a triangle or a rectangle. So there's just no way to make this fit into a rectangle and keep the inside border exactly where you want it. So what I did was just divided it. I just finished this second one here. So it was all together like that. And I just divided it at the corner with the nodes so I could lengthen the sides out a little bit and sew that much of it, and then I just put the other part on again and sewed it. So it worked out really wonderful. The other thing I could have done was simply built it using this pattern, which is also in the series of the Linda Taylor 2246. It's lots of trees and deer and little animals for lodges. So very fun. Enjoy. This is the best part ever. This is exactly what I dreamed when I thought about this. Quilting these two differently and then putting them together. And the best thing for me is to put them together on the machine. So you can see I repinned the red and black and gray one so that it's top to bottom. And then I put the green one on top of it and just laying them up here. Look at that. Look at that. And I'm just going along the edge like this. Just use your channel lock there if you want to. You can just sew right off the edge. I'm not worried about any tucks that I might get in the muslin. That's not going to affect it at all. I just want to make sure I have these edges together. Then I'm going to come right down here. And of course you could do some pinning if you feel like you need to. Come all the way down. Then I'm going to leave my needle in, and I will roll the quilt up. And I'll continue to quilt these together down the side. And you can see I've already quilted down the sides here, but I did want to show you exactly how I had done that. The stitching that I'm following was just simply stitching that was on the green that I did on the edge of the green as I was stitching it. So complete that. And I went all the way down to the bottom, so now let's take a look at the bottom. I am down at the bottom corner now, and this is maybe 3/4 of an inch off, maybe not that much because this comes around and it's pinned, so that is so close. That is awesome. So I'm coming down, I will make the corner, make sure that I'm not on top of that. I'm only going to stitch over part way, and I just kind of go back on myself there like that to make a backtrack. This is the part I will leave open and turn it, and then I'll just either whip stitch it. Actually I won't, because I don't like to do anything by hand, but I will do it on the machine just stitch about 2.5 feet that I'm leaving open to turn the whole quilt. I'm so excited. Can't wait for you to see it. Well, putting them together is going to be a snap. I just put my clamps on both sides and just stitched those together right on the long arm machine. There was so very little to do with my domestic machine, just closing it up, and some of you will want to do that by hand. What a pleasure it is to work on these long arm machines, and how much we can do if we just use our imaginations. I'm so pleased that you watched these episodes, and I really hope that you will try these things on your long arm machines and be just as pleased and excited as I am. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.